ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तावत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। संसारसागरे मग्नं दीनं मां करुणानिधे कर्ममोहगृहीताङ्गं मामुद्धर भवार्णवात्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यः दासोऽहं तव केशव। शुकरूपप्रबोधज्ञ सर्वशास्त्रविशारद एतत्कथा प्रकाशेन मदज्ञानं विनाशय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवण त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः मुनिभ्यो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमः आचार्येभ्यो नमः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमः भक्तेभ्यो नमः साधुभ्यो नमः साधकेभ्यो नमः तीर्थेभ्यो नमः क्षेत्रेभ्यो नमः नदीनदेभ्यो नमः शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामने शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो मत्स्यादवतारेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः। श्री दत्तात्रेयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। श्री आद्यशंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वान्यथा रूपम् स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Let us chant from verse number 9 of 11th Skandha 22 chapter. In this we are seeing the prasankhyanam of the tattvas with which this world is made. As per the question of Uddhavaji, while clarifying all his doubts questions, Bhagavan tries to lift our attention other than away from beyond these tattvas as well as the world which is made out of these tattvas into the absolute self or the truth. So to say, his idea is we are here to focus our attention on what that is beyond, not that which is within, not that which is around in the sthula rupa. Chant 9th onwards. Paurvaparyam ato amisham prasankhyanamabhipsadam yatha viviktam yad vaktram grunhimo yukti sambhavat anadya vidya yuktasya purushasyaatmavedanam स्वतो न संभवेद अन्यः तत्त्वज्ञो ज्ञानदो भवेद पुरुषेश्वरयोरत्र नैवैलक्षण्यमन्वमे तदन्यकल्पना पार्थ ज्ञानं च प्रकृतेर्गुणः प्रकृतिर्गुणसाम्यं वै प्रकृतेर्नात्मनो गुणाः सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति स्थित्युपपद्यते इत्युत्पत्त्यन्तहेतवः सत्वं ज्ञानं रजः कर्म तमो अज्ञानमिहोच्यते गुणव्यतिकरः कालः स्वभावः सूत्रमेव च पुरुषः प्रकृतिर्व्यक्तम् अहङ्कारो नभो निलः ज्योतिरापः क्षितिरिति तत्त्वानि उक्तानि मे नव श्रोत्रं त्वक्दर्शनं घ्राणः जिह्वेति ज्ञानशक्तयः वाक्पाणि उपस्थपायङ्घ्रीः कर्माण्यङ्गोभयं मनः शब्दस्पर्शो रसो गन्धो रूपं चेत्यर्थजातयः गति उक्ति उत्सर्ग शिल्पानि कर्मायतनसिद्धयः सर्गादौ प्रकृतिर्हि अस्य कार्यकारणरूपिणे सत्त्वादिभिर्गुणैर्धत्ते पुरुषो व्यक्त ईक्षते व्यक्तादयो विकुर्वाणाः धातवः पुरुषे क्षया लब्धवीर्याः सृजत्यण्डं संहताः प्रकृतेर्बलात् सप्तैव धातवः इति तत्रार्था पञ्चखादयः ज्ञानम् आत्मोभयाधारः ततो देहेन्द्रियासवः षडित्यत्रापि भूतानि पञ्चषष्ठः परः पुमान् तैर्युक्त आत्मसम्भूतैः सृष्ट्वेदं समुपाविशत चत्वार्येवेति तत्रापि तेज आपोन्नमात्मनः जातानि तैरिदं जातं जन्मावयविनः खलो संख्याने सप्तदशके भूतमात्रेन्द्रियाणि च पञ्चपञ्चैकमनसा आत्मा सप्तदश स्मृतः तद्वत् षोडश संख्याने आत्मैव मन उच्यते भूतेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चैव मन आत्मा त्रयोदशः एकादशत्व आत्मासौ महाभूतेन्द्रियाणि च अष्टौ प्रकृतयश्चैव पुरुषश्च नवेत्यथा इति नाना प्रसंख्यानं तत्त्वानां ऋषिभिः कृतं सर्वं न्याय्यं युक्तिमत्वाद् विदुषां किम् अशोभनम् उद्धव उवाच प्रकृतिः पुरुषश्चोभौ यद्यप्यात्मविलक्षणौ अन्योन्यापाश्रयात् कृष्ण दृश्यते नद्भिदातयोः प्रकृतौ लक्ष्यते हि आत्मा प्रकृतिश्च तथात्मनि एवं मे पुण्डरीकाक्ष महान्तं संशयं हृदि चेत्तुमर्हसि सर्वज्ञ वचोभिर्नयनैपुणैः त्वत्तो ज्ञानं हि जीवानां प्रमोषस्तेऽत्र शक्तितः त्वमेव हि आत्ममायायाः गतिं वेत्थ न चापरः श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रकृतिः पुरुषश्चेति विकल्पः पुरुषर्षभ एष वैकारिकः सर्गः गुणव्यतिकरात्मकः ममाङ्गमाया गुणमय्यनेकधा विकल्पबुद्धिश्च गुणैर्विधत्ते वैकारिकस्त्रिविधोऽध्यात्ममेकम् अथादिदैवमधिभूतमन्यतो दृग्रूपमार्कं वपुरत्र रन्ध्रे परस्परं सिद्ध्यति यस्वतख्ये आत्मा यदेषाम् अपरो य आद्यः स्वयानुभूत्या किल सिद्धसिद्धिः एवं त्वगादिश्रवणादिचक्षुः जिह्वादिवासादि च चित्तयुक्तं योऽसौ गुणक्षोभकृतो विकारः प्रधानमूलान्महतः प्रसूतः अहं त्रिपुरुन्मोहविकल्पहेतुः वैकारिकस्तामस ऐन्द्रियश्च आत्मा परिज्ञानमयो विवादः हि अस्तीति नास्तीति भिदार्थनिष्ठः व्यर्थोऽपि नैवोपरमेत पुंसाम् मत्तः परावृत्तधियां सलोकात् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम श्री भागवत शरणं मम श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम श्री सूत शरणं मम श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम श्री व्यास शरणं मम श्री नारद शरणं मम श्री कुमार शरणं मम श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्री विष्णु शरणं मम श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ॐ कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुमिह भक्तिविलासकारी सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबतादरेण लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलन केवलया किं सेवनया किम् ॐ स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति अमृतः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मा मुञ्चत कर्हिचित् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः ॐ श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वान्यथा रूपम् स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच Having saluted the entire Bhagavata Acharya Parampara, Rishi Parampara and our own Guru Parampara, and also Bhagavan Krishna, Vishnu Narayana Parabrahma, and also all the Bhaktas and all the avatars of Bhagavad Purana and elsewhere, seeking their blessings, asking them to give us the maturity very quickly to be able to understand, practice, experience their presence everywhere, so that we are free from the ungodly, non-spiritual or non-self or unself or anatma bondage. May we be freed from the bondage of the anatma, the bondage of anything other than Paramatma. May we recognize the presence of Lord everywhere very soon. Now in this Bhagavata Mahapuranam, as we are becoming now slowly aware, that entire life only when we first of all listen from the masters and keep on chanting these mantras throughout the day, throughout life, become familiar with the shlokas and with the meaning given by the master. When we contemplate, then only our highly developed intellect that way will be able to comprehend what is said in every shloka, what is said in every cluster of shlokas, what is said in each of the topics, whether they are in one chapter or few chapters, and what is said in the entire skandha, which has one particular thema, and what the purpose of entire Bhagavata as to how to achieve it also, called as Satyam Param Dhimahi, and also Projita Kaitavaha Dharmaha Abhyasam. So, this should help us now to focus more and more on our Shastras with whatever the lifespan, time, energy we are left with. No more going back, no more going into the same world of forgetting Paramatma. Enhance, intensify. This is how the Lord, while giving us little taste of spirituality, also tries to enhance our speed, inspire us more, so that we are becoming more and more Adhyatmikata. What we are doing now under the compulsion of classes, even beyond classes, throughout life, we have to keep on engaging ourselves in this type of Shravanam, in this type of Adhyanam, in this type of Mananam and Chintanam, so that our heart is filled with divinity with all its clarity. And from there, from the heart, all the ungodly, unwanted, whatever samskaras are there, whatever the misconceptions are there, notions are there, ignorances are there, imaginations are there, projections are there, misunderstandings are there, they must be wiped off completely. In this 22 chapter of 11th Skandha, as asked by Uddhavaji, Bhagavan is enumerating or detailedly explaining as to why each of the rishis, each of the gurus, when they explained about the karana of the seen jagat, they mentioned these many tattvas. No two are saying the same thing. Each one is saying number indifferent. To that, Bhagavan gave the answer yesterday, Vyasa. Now, the ninth sloka gives that complete answer. He says, Paurva Bharyam Ataha Amesham Prasankhyanam Avipsatam Yatha Viviktam Yad Vaktram Grunnimaha Yukti Sambhavat. What a beautiful shloka it is. Complete. He says, Amisham, Amisha means of these. Of these what? The things which are in the discussion. Which are the tattvas. So Amisham Paurva Paryam. Because of the possibility of these tattvas merging into the cause and reducing in number, or expressing out of the cause as the effects and increasing in number. Okay, first that is a possibility. कारण से कार्य निकलकर संख्या बढ़ेगा, कार्य कारण में मर्ज होकर संख्या घटेगा. फर्स्ट दिस पॉसिबिलिटी कीप इन माइंड. हमेशा पौर्वा पर्यम. Second is what? Prasankyanam abhipsatam. Every other rishi is somehow or the other liking to tell about the Sankhya in his own way or choice. He is becoming one is satisfied by saying 4. Somebody is not happy, says 7. Other say 9, 10. So abhipsa, each one's desire, each one's willingness of specifying the number of tattvas with this number. One is the possibility of becoming small and big number because of cause and effect mutually changing. Second is their own abhipsa. Abhipsa means their own ishta, their own desire. That's how they feel like. They're not big issue there that how do they feel like, why do they feel like, why don't they take the opinion of others. Each one came in different period of time. For them, because that mood mentality, that number appealed to be more acceptable. So that's called prasankhyanam abhipsadam. Third one is yatha viviktam. And as they did the viviktada, as they separated them, differentiated them, combined them. Then yad vaktram, having that way differentiated, first of all, to say any number, there is possibility because of paurva pariya. Second is what? Prasang abhipsatam. Their abhipcha, their icha, that this is what I want to say. And then they put their own logic of this is how these many, yatha viviktam. This is how they separated, differentiated the tattvas to be. Then yadvaktram. Then through their mouth, in whatever the way strongly they spoke that only these many tattvas. That's how so many theories came. But as far as me is concerned, Bhagavan says here, Grunhi Maha. We though don't fight with any of those rishis, munis. We accept everyone's number because yukti sambhavat. Idea is what there. Each one has not said out of his hat. They never used hat only. Each one of them said out of their own a particular logic. Now, wisdom is not in disproving others' logic with our logic when there is not much benefit. Wisdom is accept his logic and logically what he arrived at, accept it. What is a yuddha? And at the level of Krishna's contemplation or Krishna's perception, the goal is neither the world nor the tattvas with which the world is made. The goal is beyond the world, that is परमात्मा तत्व. जब लक्ष्य परमात्मा है तो ये 4 बने, 8 बने, 10 बने, 16 बने, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So by saying so, Bhagavan not only to Uddhavji, to also he is saying us such trivial questions, such non-essential questions may come into your mind or may come to you from some other source. They being not so much important and valuable, don't value them and get distracted. Don't get deviated from your goal. Because any number you see, again there's another number said by other person, so you feel dissatisfied. So the 3 answers are what? All of them are right. Answer 1. Second answer is what? All of them are wrong. Third answer is why? Because what is right is only one Paramatma. You cannot call him as one also, because the one is a number always in contrast with 2. That is why even Paramatma is said as one without second. Ekam never said about Atma. Ekam eva advitiyam. Because Ekam always goes with Ditiyam. Ekam dve trini chatvari. Only when there are 2, then you call it as 1. Like whenever there are seen things are there, then you become the seer. Seer is always in contrast with the seen. Something you call as white only when there is other color other than the white, whether it's black or any color. If there is one homogeneous color, you can't name it. Is it not? In the same way, Ekameva Advayam Brahma, that is our goal. Even Paramatma is not numbered. Then all these things are only in the Mithya Jagat. They are unreal. क्या फर्क पड़ता है उसका क्या नंबर है? Like this, not only as regards the tattvas with which the world is made, that we not very much. Like that throughout your spiritual journey, so many seemingly important but pithless or non-important doubts, questions come. Everything you will not try to understand because they are illogical. Some of them are beyond intellect's comprehension and not required them. Like why the mind behaves like that. To that question, nobody can give answer. It is behaving like that. It can be changed. You change it. Why that person is like that? You can't answer because that person also don't know. Like, did you ever think in what way you are behaving? First of all, look from the other standpoint what they are observing you. We never thought it. First of all, what way we are behaving, that only we don't know. Then how, when will we know that whether it is right or not, authentic or not, useful or not to me and others? After that only, na, then I'll understand why and how I'm becoming useless to me and others, how to eliminate those traits, then how to become useful to myself and others, and how to bring those qualities in me. कहाँ कर रहे हैं हम सब? करना है तो कुछ ये करो. Otherwise don't ask about why the world like this, why the mind like this, why the people are like this. All of them have no answer because the world is not there. You are the only one who's there. From the Advaita standpoint, from Mandukya standpoint, entire world is what you project. So you projected it, you reject that projection and accept positive. Okay, boss. Like that, we have to be sometimes bold, brave, expanded in dropping the silly things, smaller things. Then only we expand into deep level, higher level, subtler level. And spiritual evolution means becoming expanded, becoming deeper, going beyond, becoming subtler. From the grosser or dense or stula, you have to become subtler. That is sadhana. Is it not? No, Bhagavan Krishna very intelligently escaped. He is not at answered, he'll answer by saying every rishi is right. Every rishi is seeing what will Krishna answer to Uddhava's question. If Krishna promotes number 10, number 11, then other people will become disappointed. The Bhagavan spoke all. He says his opinion also, but after that he says other things also. But all of them are right from their standpoint. All of them are wrong from the absolute standpoint. While behaving or interacting or responding, see from their standpoint. And while transcending all of them, you see the Atma standpoint. From that standpoint, nobody is right. That should be internally seen. आत्म दृष्टि से सब गलत है, ये अंदर महसूस करना है. और बाहर दृष्टि से सब करेक्ट है, उस करेक्टनेस के हिसाब से उनसे डील करना है. And thus escape in this world from involved into all unsolvable crises or problems. It's a wise, intelligent way. Okay. Now in this world, nobody wants wisdom, nobody wants guidance, nobody wants to get themselves corrected, nobody wants even to be pointed out that you are doing wrong. No, in this complicated world of human minds, which are filled with so much of notions and stubbornnesses, what can you and I do small things? अरे बड़े बड़े ऋषि मुनि लोग हैं, ये इस दुनिया से हार कर अपने गुफाओं में जा रहे हैं. भगवान हिमसेल्फ इज हेजिटेटिंग टू कम एज अवतार. अभी नहीं आऊंगा मैं. लेट ऋषिज मुनीज गुरुज ट्राई देयर बेस्ट टू डू सम साफ सुथरा, तब जाकर मैं आता हूँ. No, these are few facts which when we receive, we can understand our limitations, world's limitations, therefore how far we can do, how far we can't do, and thus far no further. Further is only our sadhana. Now Bhagavan starts saying here. Yesterday we saw these 2-3 slokas, how Bhagavan is explaining to us how the number game started. He starts from you. You means me, everyone. What did he say? Anadya vidya yuktasya purushasya atma vedanam svato na sambhavet anyaha tatvagno jnanado bhavet. So in this particular sloka, where do we stand? That is said. Where do we have to reach? That also is said. And how and who can help us? That also said. Therefore, to receive that help, you have to receive the secondness. Thus, the one became two here. What is that? He is asking you first of all, have you realized yourself as one without second? No. Then what are you considering yourself as? Deshakala vastu parichinna jiva, identified with the pancha upadhi. Now, where from this is coming? From eternal. Considering myself as the pancha upadhi yukta jiva, forgetting myself as real self is called avidya. Yeah? Where from it started? Anadi. And we are so much immersed in that we are helpless victims pulled by this avidya, which is so powerful from anadi. In other words, you and I who are experiencing Jiva Bhava, because of the avidya which has started from Anadikala, we don't have our own personal effort or sufficient ability to come out of it. Anadi avidya yuktasya purushasya. That is you and me, the Jiva. Atma Vedanam, knowing himself, crossing that avidya, swatah na sambhavet. He cannot do by himself. Like you see in that Jharkhand, people are stranded in that whatever the rope way. It's so funny scene that is to see that en route the rope way that boxes are hanging, helicopters are going fetching the people. They can't do anything. They can't jump out of those things. How did they stay overnight yesterday? I don't know. Now, somehow the operation is over. Few people died there, three or four, three. In the same way, in any deep valley when you are fallen, or when you're in a very deep ocean we are fallen, more familiar example is when we are fallen in the daldal, or when you are amidst the forest fire. Bolo, in all these cases, do we have sufficient ability, capacity to come out of them? No. In the same way, avidya kruta upadi tadatmya kruta jiva bhava. From that, you and I cannot come out of it by our own self. By saying so, Bhagavan in general indicating to all the avidya yukta jivas that you must have the guru or the god to pull you out of that. Feel that need and necessity. And because it is my need, I must have them, appoint them, and worship them, be devoted to them, surrender to them, follow them. Then you come out of it. That's what happened yesterday. That person was putting the belt और कुछ हुआ वो फिसल गया अब गिर गया 1500 मीटर खाई में बेचारा. You have to follow what they say. Now, in this way, from this sloka, especially this sloka, आगे वाले में उतना नहीं होगा. In this sloka, from every thought, if you want to pull out so many teachings Bhagavan is giving, we can become aware of it. First thing he says, you are in a Jiva Bhava. Second, it's called Avidya. Third, it is coming from Anadi. Fourth, you yourself cannot come out of it. Fifth, therefore, you need somebody's help. It is necessary now. That's what he says in the last line. Ki swatah na sambhaved. Therefore, anyaha tattvajnaha jnanadaha bhavetu. Bhavet means is required. Who is required? Tattvajnaha anyaha jnanadaha. Some other person who knows the tattva and ready to give that jnana should be available to you, is required for you. Like I am seeing the snake, I am afraid of the snake. So someone who has seen the rope, he is required to teach me why it is not a snake and how is it a rope and how to recognize it as a rope and remove the notion of snake and free from the fear of the snake. This is the first step of spirituality. That I am in avidya, only Guru and Bhagavan can help me to come out of it. Mind you, this is the every moment step where we are so conscious to seek the guidance of the Guru and blessings of the Lord. Throughout our spiritual journey, evolution, rather, only when we tune to them in true sense of being obedient to them, that the real evolution happens. Till the last moment of entering into the experience of the self, what only thing helps us is the blessings of the Lord and the guidance of the Guru. Even after reaching to the experience, it is out of our gratitude. What else we do is nothing other than worshipping or serving or extending our gratitudes to the Guru and God. By the way, you have to keep these things in mind. See, Guru याद आया, Guru के टीचिंग याद आए, साधना याद आया, साधक बनकर सिद्धि की तरफ गए. गुरु को भूल गए तो टीचिंग भूल गए, साधना भूल गए, फिर क्या कर रहे हैं? संसार में प्रवेश किए. How direct it is, you see? Is there any ambiguity? Okay. Now, why this topic came here when the question was about how many tattvas? Already there is one Jiva, second there is Ishvara. So, दो हो गए यहाँ नंबर. दो का इस तरह से जरूरत पड़ा जब अज्ञान अविद्या में है. Then the Ishvara only comes in the form of Guru, always remember, to give us the Jnanam Vidya about our own Atma Swarupa. Then how to experience the Atma Jnanam, Atma Anubhuti, he only tells our sadhanas. That's what every Upanishad, every Rishi like that. Okay. Now itna ho gaya. Anadi avidya yukta se purushasya atma vedanam swatah na sambhavetu. Therefore, anyaha tattvajnaha jnanadaha bhavetu. होना चाहिए. अगर आप मुक्ति चाहते हो तो, कंपल्सन नहीं किया. Compulsion of guru is required for mukti. But you want mukti or not, for that you want guru or not, it is your choice. Mukti chahte hue bhi, if you don't have guru, you will not get the mukti. You have a guru but not seeking liberation, then also you don't have mukti. You have guru, you are seeking mukti, you get mukti. Neither you want mukti nor you have guru, then you only guru ganta. All four possibilities always are there. Now, देखो पुरुषस्य next श्लोका पुरुषस्येश्वरयोरत्र न वै लक्षण्यमण्वपे तद अन्य कल्पना पार्थ ज्ञानञ्च प्रकृतेर्गुणः. Here only at the first instance itself, where the concept of Ishvara is brought, Guru is brought for teaching us. Here itself, Bhagavan is clearing to us a point which is raised in the Alata Shanti, even Advaita Prakarana, also by the Purva Pakshe. There the Karikakara Siddhanta is answered. What is that? For the sake of Upalambha, for the sake of avatara of that Jnanam, Upayatvena, Upalambatvena, Upayatvena, then Avataraya. Avatara means to give us that knowledge that the Guru and Ishvara are accepted to be there for teaching us, but in the absolute truth, these two are not there, it is one. शुरू से देखो मैं व्यवहार और साधना के लिए दो में व्यवहार कर रहा हूं, अल्टीमेट ट्रुथ में एक ही है. ये पहले से हम तैयार करते जाए ना, तैयारी से रहें, then it is not difficult for us later on to drop the two-ness and merge in oneness. Always remember, like you are there as listener, I am speaker. When you accept the fact that there is a beginning day of our classes, there is an end day also, and it will be whatever the time the Lord wants, then we are ready to learn, listen, whatever the time we are given. When all things stop, we are ready to accept it, prepare from the beginning. When you join a school, you should know one day you have to exit it. When you join a job, we have to know one day we exit. When we have entered the body, one day we'll have to leave it. So too, when we have accepted the Dvaita for the sake of Vyavahara as well as sadhana, we have to reject one day to know the truth. That's what Bhagavan says. Very clear. What is that? Purushasya Ishwarayoho Atra. Purusha Ishwarayoho. Purusha is Jiva here. Ishwara means the one who is teaching us as Guru. Between that Ishwara and me, Vailakshanyam Anu api atrana. Anu means even little bit also, a bit also. There is a Vilakshanata in a Jiva and Ishwara. This is what right from the beginning we have to know. In fact, by indicating here this point, he is telling another sadhana which was given in the very first few mantras of Mandukya and Karika, where he said, my dear friend, the first sadhana is you merge your Vishwa in the Vaishwanara. Don't consider yourself as individual. No, you are a part of total. If that is done right from the beginning, the biggest boj which we are carrying in our head would have not been there. What is the biggest boj? I am individual, a separate entity. This is the only load we have. We unload that, we are liberated in this very moment. So, Jiva Ishwarayoho Vailakshanyam Atra Anu Api Na. Where is difference? As I said, in the quantity it may be different. Okay, what is the quantity? Ishvara is Sarvagna, I am Alpagna. But Jnana ke drushti se dono ek hai. Ishvara Sarvashaktiman, I am Alpashaktiman. Quantitatively different. Otherwise, Shakti is same. Then Ishvara is Sarvavyapi, we are Alpavyapi. That's the only difference. One more, Ishvara is holding the Maya under his control. Jiva, we are under the influence of Avidya. These are few little differences. Otherwise, Vailakshanyam dono mein. Anu api Vailakshanyam nahi hai. Don't see the difference in them. Both of them are ultimately one only. But now at the Avidya level, to increase our knowledge, to increase our understanding about the one without a second truth, we need somebody to bless us. We need somebody to teach us. The blessing person is Ishvara, the teaching person is teacher. Teacher Ishvara only comes as teacher. So पहले ही भगवान बता रहे कि ईश्वर में जीव में वैलक्षण्य एक भी नहीं है. दूसरा भी कारण क्या है? What light which is glowing in the Ishvara, what light which is there in Jiva, because of which each one is having their upadhis functional, because of which one is called as Ishvara, one is called Jiva, that is one. It's like 10,000 watt bulb and 100 watt bulb. देखो wattage के हिसाब से they are different, but 100 or 10,000 watt glow is same. Quantitatively it may be different. Glow is same. That's where you have to find the unity. Second, both of the bulbs are glowing because of the common electricity behind. There's no difference. So too the 10,000 watt bulb is Ishvara, 100 watt bulb is V or 0 bulb. जो भी है. Keep that in mind. Now next he says, tad anya kalpana apartha. If right from beginning, if you don't entertain that transaction purpose ke liye they are different, otherwise they are one. Instead of that, you keep on enhancing the difference of Ishvara and Jiva again and again day by day and take them as vikalpa other than to each other, then they'll be apartha. Apartha means it won't fetch you the final result. Therefore, tad anya kalpana apartha. Then the difference between both of them is because of jnanam. That I am alpagna, is sarvagna. He says jnanam cha prakriti gunaha. See, the pure consciousness same in both of them. But the jnana is prakriti. In the Ishvara, the sattva guna is complete. Sattva guna's lakshana is also complete or infinite. In Jiva, sattva guna is there very less. Therefore, he has got very less jnanam. So the jnanam of Ishvara, jnanam of Jiva are prakriti sambandita. Prakriti is their own antakarana. Sattva guna, let us say. So his sattva guna is complete, ours is limited. Therefore, we have less knowledge, he has got more knowledge. As a Chaitanya Atma, which is not a guna, which is not a subject jnana, which is not a vritti jnanam, at that level of conscious self, he and me are one. That anyway. Therefore, in very clear words, Bhagavan is saying, Ishvara and Jiva are ek hi hai. Tattva drushti se bhi, even otherwise also, if at all any difference is there in their powers, sota bada itna hi. Otherwise, we are one. Maintain that oneness in the heart. In heart, because finally the emancipation of the Jiva happens only when his Vesti Upadhis, after purifying them through Bhakti, Jnana, Yoga, he'll have to merge in total and he individuality merges in Paramatma. हमारे व्यष्टि उपाधियों को समष्टि उपाधियों में छोड़कर इस व्यष्टि उपाधियों से जो जगत हुआ जीव था ना, इस जीव को आत्मा में लय करके उस आत्मा को समष्टि आत्मा जिनको ब्रह्म कहते हैं उनमें लय करना है. Jiva Upadhi dropped to Ishvara and the Upadhi Rahita Jiva is discovered as the Atma. This Atma is discovered as Brahma. That's called Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha. These Upadhis have to be totally surrendered. Whether you surrender or not, it will be taken only. That's what Parikshit says toward the end. Can I merge these Upadhis in total? And I, the individual who was existing so far as a separate entity because of these Upadhis, can I merge in my Swarupa? Toward the end it will come. Shukdev says, go ahead. Yes. And you and I also will reach to that stage as we become paripakva, life after the life, when we are consistently studying Shastra and slowly entering into actual sadhana of Viveka Vairagya, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and ensuring our inner purity and becoming worthy of contemplation. And on the seat of contemplation, when we are dissolving gross into the subtler, into the causal, when we are dissolving the individual into the total, we will experience the same stage. Okay? अब देखो, Bhagavan first said, there is only one Paramatma, all these gunas, all these number of tattva, they're all intermediate things. Anyway, let us come to more important topic. You are as Jiva, Anadi Avidya Bandhana, you can't have mukti by yourself. You need somebody to teach you, the one who knows everything. Therefore, everything knower called as Ishvara has manifested for you. Now, Ishvara's Ishvaratva you can't accept, you don't need also. Therefore, he requiring to your requirement, fitting to your requirement, expresses as the Guru. So, Guru, Ishvara are one only. Okay, isme, then ultimately they are one, don't forget it. Let me tell you now how this creation happened little bit and number of tattvas as was the main question going on. He says, 12th sloka, Prakrutir guna samyam vai Prakrutir natmano gunaha Sattvam rajastama iti Sthityutpatyanta hetavaha. Now be careful about collecting this data. Now this data is foolproofed by all the Mahatmas on their meditational seat. You want pakka proof of it, you meditate and you realize this. This is not taught through Vedanta. Vedanta only is rejection path. Having rejected everything as Anatma, Anatma, Nitya, Nitya, it reaches us to Atma, which is Nitya and Satya. ये सभी किसी छेड़ता नहीं है वेदांत, सब छोड़ता है. बट योग मार्ग छोड़ता नहीं है, उसको छेड़ते छेड़ते छड़ी से उसका पूरा इन एंड आउट जानकर उसको मास्टर करता है. In the Yoga Marga and Sankhya Marga, entire Prakriti Maya is held on to and that is mastered and all that. Vedanta says, Bhakwa, I don't want. Because ultimate experience is in only knowing the truth. To know the truth, anyway, you have to drop even Prakriti Maya. Then why should I shadow it? Vedanta escapes all that. Vedanta says, I am Drashta, the Panchakoshas are Drushya, therefore I am not them, then I am this. He drops it. Yogi and Sankhya Yogi ऐसा नहीं करते. They talk about the Panchakosha, they talk about where from they are made, why we have become Baddha as a Jiva by caught up in the Prakriti, how to get out of this bondage. For that, what Yamaniyamasana we have to do, Shamadamadi we have to do. They talk in detail. We don't talk here. So here he says very clearly कि प्रकृति गुण साम्यम भाई. ध्यान से सुनना कि when the three gunas sattva rajas tama are exactly in samyavastha, that samyavastha of three gunas is called nascent, ungrassified or unsubtlified or unmanifested pure prakriti. हिंदी में बताता हूं, आप समझ लेना. तीनों गुण जब साम्य अवस्था में होते हैं उनको प्रकृति कहते हैं. उस साम्य अवस्था तीन गुणों में जब है, जब उसको प्रकृति कहते हैं, उस प्रकृति से कोई कारणत्व नहीं है और उस कारणत्व से कोई स्थूल सूक्ष्म कार्य का उत्पत्ति नहीं हुआ. सो द कारण स्थूल सूक्ष्म रूप कार्य रहित केवल प्रकृति इज दैट where all these three gunas are in the samya avastha. Point 1. Now listen carefully. For whatever the reason, when there is samyata of these three gunas in the prakriti gets disturbed, that's called guna vaishamyam. Immediately the prakriti becomes the cause, and from that the sukshma becomes the effect and stula becomes effect. Stula sukshma are manifest in this world. This is the highest philosophy to be understood regarding the prakriti samastiti of three guna. The three guna are disturbed. When the three gunas get disturbed, then prakriti become the cause, stula karana, from that stula sukshma jagat comes. So first point he says this is prakriti guna samyam vai. Now immediately is hinting at us so that we should not be forgetting it or going in a wrong direction such a distance that it becomes so difficult to come back. What is the point? प्रकृतेः गुणाः न आत्मनः. याद रखना हमेशा, all these three gunas about which we study in every chapter, every text, every shastra, they all belong to prakriti, not to the shuddha atma. Atma is always guna atita. Atma is always guna atita. So the gunas belong to prakriti, not to the atma. And those gunas, when they are in samya avastha, it is called pure prakriti. It's called pradhana in Sankhyan's bhasha. Then that prakriti which is in samya avastha gets disturbed by whatever reason. Then it becomes gross and subtler in the form of the jagat. Why it gets disturbed? Because of Ishvara Sankalpa. He wants to appear as many. And why does the Ishvara do Sankalpa and want to appear many? You can't question why, because he is Ishvara. Because he can design it, worry to ask him. You only have to accept. When you go to somebody's house as a guest, you can't ask him why he is put like that. Why? It is his house, yaar. तुम कौन होते पूछने को? रहने तो रहो, नहीं तो भाग. In the same way, you and I, कौन किसका बंदा? How dare we ask the Ishvara as to why did you do Sankalpa and bring the Vishamata in the Prakriti and bring the whole creation? With this question, you may appear to a pseudo philosopher and get frustrated, but it will not affect the Ishvara at all. बोले तू कौन है बैल पूछने वाला है, मेरी मर्जी. Interesting. There are some things, don't become frustrated. They drop the question, be relaxed. Like, our Telangana CM yesterday went to Delhi, tried all agitation. That Delhi wale, Hathi Chele Bazaar wala, they didn't say anything except 1 or 2. Then he came back. Everywhere you can't pose that you are a doer of this or that. You just sometimes, you know, learn the art of managing and escaping rather than fighting out to lose the battle. Everywhere. Is it not? थोड़ा ये गंभीर होता है, कोई लोग स्वीकार नहीं करते उसको. Anyway, I don't want to extend this subject because very gambhira it is. What is the gambhira subject is? It slowly proves us the necessity of totally surrendering. In this world, the only way to conquer is just surrender to the divinity. But it is not an easy thing with an ego so strong. So come to the point here. Bhagavan says, Prakriti gunasamyam vai and Prakrutehe na atmanaha gunaha. Two sentences are told. Two are explained to you. I'm sure you are catching it. Gunas belong to Prakriti, not to the Atma. Gunas, when they are in the Samya Sthiti, it is pure Prakriti. Creation has not happened in that yet. Then Sattvam Rajastama iti. And these, what are the three gunas you said, sir? That's the Sattva Rajastama. And these are the ones in their own imbalance or coming out of Samyavastha become cause for Sthiti Utpatti Antahetavaha. Okay, that means what? When the Rajoguna becomes predominant, Utpatti takes care of the creation. Sattva-guna when becomes predominant, maintenance goes on being taken care of. Then the Tamoguna becomes predominant, then it does the laya of it. So, Sarga Sthiti Laya are because of Rajas, Sattva and Tamasa. Okay? Of all the Rupa and Nama. Now, all the Rupa Nama, be attentive of the Jagat, created, maintained and dissolved in the three gunas of the Prakriti, of all which has no touch with Paramatma. In the Paramatma, there is no Maya, there is no Prakriti, there is no three gunas, there is no Vishamata of the guna, there is no Srishti, there is no Sthiti, there is no Laya. याद रखना इस बात को, and that's the ultimate goal. That's what the highest teaching in the Mandukya Karika. All these are at the Prakriti Maya level only. But the Prakriti Maya cannot function without Paramatma's presence. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetuna Anena Kaunteya Jagat Viparivartate. In this way. Now, second one he says, Sattva Rajastamiti Sthiti Utpatti Anta Hetavaha. So these three gunas are the cause for the creation and maintenance and dissolution of what? Of gross and subtle. The gross is the tangible world, the subtle is the inner world of thoughts, etc. And all of that, how much were real, solid, substantial, colorful, holdable, shaped, sized, it is appearing, but all of that is Prakriti only. ये तो सबसे मजेदार बात है. Is it that when these women folk make variety of rangoli, different shapes they do with all the ना डॉट्स लगा के करते हैं, 5 डॉट वाला, 7 वाला, 27 वाला. जब बहुत बड़ा सा रख करना है रथ सप्तमी, they do so many dots, but all of that is nothing but that white powder only. With that white powder only they made variety of rangoli. In that they can make a bunch of flowers, some of them artist type, some of them make the parrots, some make the peacocks, they make it. You understand? You see each one. Arey, that woman has made the peacock. She made the parrots. She made a family at a place. She made a natural scenery. अरे कुछ भी करो सब powder ही है ना. In the same way, the Maya is the powder, Prakriti is the powder, which is appearing as the Jagat of Sthula Sukshma. In Paramatma, there is no Maya, no Prakriti, no Trigunas, no Jagat. Please remember it. And that is our goal to identify with. Then only the problems of this go away. Problems are not in the Jagat. Jagat itself is problem. Problems are not in the Prakriti. Prakriti itself is a problem. You have to rise beyond them to rise above all the problems permanently. Otherwise, here only means एक जेल से दूसरे जेल में डाला. Is it a mukti? It's only change of the jail only. In the same way, in the Prakriti, from one day to the other, from one loka to other, from one situation to other, from one circumstance to other, you're only changing problem, not solving problem. It is like our neighbor country. He's only changing problem. Earlier PM was making those sentences. The new fellow will make this. You can't expect anything other than them. India can never have any expectation from the Pakistan type country that the new prime minister will talk favorably to India. वो वही बोलेगा जिससे उनको शाबाशी मिलेगा from the army as well as the locals. So he will say only Kashmir को हम सार्ट करके रहेंगे. There's no meaning in that. Everybody knows it. Then our Muthod Jawab, Jai Shankar, our external minister, say, we are aiming at POK. First, let us discuss that. You cannot solve something, you have to drop. That's it. प्रकृति की बात यह है. Now come to the next one. सत्वं ज्ञानं रजः कर्म तमो अज्ञानमिहोच्यते गुणव्यतिकरः कालः स्वभावः सूत्रमेव च. Now this 13th mantra, 12th, 11th, all of them are giving the summary of what we studied so many times in earlier skandhas as well as in other texts about how the entire Srishti got manifested. वेरी इजी, वेरी समरी, वेरी सिंपल वर्ड्स में बताया गया है. से सत्वम ज्ञानम, क्लियर, वेरी क्लियर. वेर एवर द ज्ञानम इज हैपनिंग, दैट इज द एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ सत्वगुण. नो सत्वगुण से ही अंतःकरण बनता है. ध्यान से सुनना. और अंतःकरण में ज्ञान पाने की शक्ति सत्वगुण से आता है. फिर उस शक्ति से जब अंतःकरण ज्ञान को पाता है, वो सत्वगुण का ही कर्म है. ज्ञानम is sattva-guna lakshana or expression of sattva-guna. Sattvam jnanam. So prakriti ke sattva-guna se, which jnanam? About the world's jnanam. In that, there is a rupa jnanam, the nama jnanam, the guna jnanam, the kriya jati dravya jnanam, and the jnanam to modify those rupa nama fitting to our own utility. All that jnanam is sattva-guna. So, like the famous example, see a wood. Seeing the wood is a jnanam. Then seeing a chair or table in the wood is a jnanam. That is sattva guna. Then how to mold the wood into the chair, how to cut it, how to sharpen, polish it. These are all jnanam. इसमें कोई कर्म या क्रिया कर्म नहीं हुआ अभी. These are all jnanam. Is it not that knowledge aspect? It is for sattva guna. Many of us don't focus on the knowledge, expansive knowledge. Little knowledge which is sufficient for fulfilling our desires through karma, only that we focus on. We don't focus on that type of knowledge possible to the intellect, which reveals the truth as it is. Which, क्या कहते हैं ना, ये भांडा फोड़ने वाला बात, पर्दाफाश वाला, about this Maya Jagat, that knowledge we are not getting, which is possible in our intellect. But that type of knowledge useful to remove the curtain of Maya, though possibility is there in the intellect, is awakened only when we study Shastra. So शास्त्र में भी बौद्धिक ज्ञान ही सिखाया जाता है, वो माया का पर्दा को निकालने वाला. In the Laukika Jagat also, the knowledge only of the buddhi, but that is only to fulfill desires, not for liberation. In the pure Atmavastu, there is no this type of knowledge of the intellect. It is Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa. That is not a Bauddhika Jnanam. It's called Vijnanam. That Vijnanam, pure consciousness, is always there, whether somebody's buddhi is working with knowledge or with dull-wittedness without any knowledge. Dono mein consciousness is there. A knowledgeable person conscious that he has lot of knowledge. A Buddha also is aware that he has no knowledge. Awareness is common in both. You know, the one who says I know because he is conscious. The one who says I don't know because he says that from being conscious only. In the consciousness, there is no role of knowledge or ignorance. Both of them are equally illuminated. Which knowledge? The thought knowledge of the buddhi. In which, when the Sattva-guna pramana is more knowledge it gains. More in terms of quantity, more in terms of variety, more in terms of the depth. If the buddhi has become so sharp, then the buddhi's ability to have the knowledge becomes expanded. So, Sattvam Jnanam gave you the idea, do little homework on that. Second is Rajaha Karma. Then the Rajaguna's effect is in terms of doing karma. While doing the karma, see, for gaining the Jnanam, Jnanendriyas will help you, Antakarana will help you. For doing the karma, karmendriyas will help you. Shakti is helping you. Shakti is called prana. How have they all have come? It will be told in the future shlokas. Rajaha karma. Like in the example, when I have known a wood, then I saw the chair in that or table in that. I also understood how the table or chair can be molded out of that wood. ये सब सत्व गुण का काम है. Now you use your hands and legs and the prana shakti in the hands and leg, using that chisel or hammer, whatever required, or the saw. Then you try to mold. There, according to the knowledge, an action is happening. That action is called karma. That is sattva guna. Rajoguna, sorry. Karma is rajoguna. Yeah. Now, what is tamoguna? Tamaha ajnanamiha uchyate. There are two explanations of tamoguna. One is the dravya which is there, the wood on which you are acting, it is called as the tamas. And why it is called ajnanam? Because the wood doesn't know that somebody is lifting it, somebody is cutting it, somebody is making it as a chair, or somebody is breaking it, or somebody is putting it in the fire and burning. उस वुड को ये नहीं पता, इसलिए उसका वो अज्ञान है, तमस है कहते हैं उसको. And that tamas ajnana with dravyatva. That is tamoguna lakshana. So tamaha ajnana dravyata. Rajaha sattva rajaha karma and movement. Sattva jnanam and knowing things. Sattva jnanam, it knows. Rajoguna karma, it does. Tamoguna ajnana tamasa, it just remains as a dravya. These are all prakriti gunas. And the entire world is either jnana or karma or dravya. Therefore, the entire world is nothing but gunatma. That's why trigunatmaka is the jagat. Paramatma is gunatita. Therefore, unless we transcend these three guna, we cannot see Paramatma. And these three gunas you can transcend with the help of Sattva guna. For making Sattva guna predominant, you have to suppress the Rajas and Tamas and evolve away from them and use this Sattva guna to know the Tattva Jnana. Not use the Sattva guna again only to know the world and to desire the world and fulfill the desire of the world. Again, that is samsara. That is why antakarana ko shuddha karna matlab bring it to sattva. Then that sattva antakarana use only to know the truth, understand the truth through study of shastra, through contemplation, etc. Then that sattva becomes a ladder for you to take into Paramatma. If the sattva used for the worldly things, then that will prompt us to do the karma because the desire has come. Then sattva has fallen to the level of rajoguna. Then the rajas gives the result. You indulge in the result, which is always the gross object form. Then you fall to the level of tamoguna. That's why the Sattva misused pulls us to the Rajas Tamas, and Sattva rightly used lifts us even beyond Sattva, takes us to Gunatita Paramatma. Okay, now next one, 14th sloka. So these three slokas are one set. What are they? 10, 11, 12. What is the 10th wala? Jiva, who is bound with Anadya Vidya, cannot have Vidya by himself a mukti. He needs somebody, therefore Ishvara is there. But Ishvara Jiva quantitatively may be different, but essentially they are one. Second point is what? Prakriti Samyavastha is no creation. When the Prakriti is three gunas are Vishama, the creation happens. Secondly, these three gunas belong to Prakriti, not to Paramatma. Third one is what? Sattvam gives Jnanam, rise to Jnanam. Rajas gives rise to Karma. Tamas gives rise to the Ajnanam as well as the matterness or Dravyata. The entire world of matter is tamoguna and it is in the ajnana. It is dravya sthiti. That way the matter doesn't know. When you put a bomb and blast that mountain doesn't know it. Trees are slowly out of tamoguna. There little rajas, very little sattva in there in the tree. Okay, because little rajas only, it takes water, everything and sustains itself. A very little sattva guna is there. Therefore, it is very micro way sensitive about the one who is planting, the one who is watering, or the one who is cutting. It's very feeble way होता है. जैसे बेहोश बंदा उसको थोड़ा पता है कि कोई इंजेक्शन दे रहा है, कोई सेलाइन लगा रहा है. You know, when he is given anesthesia, very mildly knows as the effect of anesthesia is little reducing. Little more awareness is there in the Pakshi Pashu. Not only tamoguna, but there's more rajas is there, activity movement, more sattva also is there compared to the trees, but not complete. Therefore, the birds know where to put the nest, how to put the nest, where to fetch the food from, which food is to be eaten. Pashus also know. More sattva guna is there only in human being. That he can use his sattva guna up to the knowing of the truth. And he has got more rajoguna too, that he can do so many activities of variety. You understood how in these four jatis of Pashu Pakshi Vanaspati, the Rajas Tamas has started happening, and Rajas and Sattva, in the matter of the world, only Tamoguna is there. Rajas, Sattva, they are not there in that. Just keep a data in the mind. Sometime when you are free, you contemplate on that, then you get deeper understanding and conviction. What is required is correct understanding, and that has to be convinced about. Now comes, that was one thing. Second was, we saw these three. Now, Bhagavan starts telling again about these tattvas. Listen carefully. He says, Purushaha prakritihi vyaktam ahankaraha nabhaha anilaha jyotihi apaha kshitihi iti tattvani uktani me nava. I didn't say 28 बाबा, मैं तो 9 तत्व कहा मैं. Standardized है भगवान की दृष्टि से. These are the 9 tattvas which make the world happen. What are they? 9 Purusha. Purusha means you can add all the 3 in this. Purusha is Paramatma, Purusha is Ishvara, Purusha is Jiva. Okay na? तीनों की जरूरत है. Because Jiva for his own prarabdha needs the world. Therefore his role is there. Ishvara is required because he only can master the Prakriti and create what is required for the Jiva. Then Ishvara cannot be without Paramatma, therefore Paramatma. So Purusha means Jiva, Paramatma and Ishvara. एक स्थाई में एक को आप ले लो. One aspect of the 9 aspects which make the world. One is Purusha. Second is Prakriti, the Samya Avastha of the 3 gunas. Second is when that Prakriti, be attentive, first level of becoming grossification, it is called as the Mahat Tattva. That it is called as Vyaktam here. So before the Vyaktatva of the Mahattattva, it was in the Prakriti Sthiti, that is called as Avyakta. So Purushaha, Prakritihi, Vyaktaha. तीनों के. Fourth one is Ahankaraha. The Ahankara, the Aham. From the Mahattattva, the Ahankara comes. Because in Prakriti there are 3 gunas, they are percolating into the Mahattattva also. Then from Mahattattva they enter into the Ahankara also. Then the Ahankara divides into 3. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Then from each of them different things come. That's later on. But in my opinion, Purushaha, Prakritihi, Vyaktam, Ahankaraha, 4 are over. Then Navaha, Anilaha, Jyotihi, Apaha, Kshitihi. These are called as Panchatattvas, Panchamahabhutas. In fact, they can be in the Tanmatra form, we can say. So, O4, A5. Pure kitne ho gaye? Now, this is how Nava Tattvani me Uktani. In my opinion, the Tattvas are 9. Those who say number as less than my number of 9, they have merged some into the other. Those who are saying the number more than 9, as I said, they are only bringing out from this only other. For example, he will tell the next ones. What is the next sloka? He says, Srotramo Tvak Darshanamu Nranaha Jihva. These are the Jnana Shaktayaha. These are all Indriyas. The Indriyas which have the Jnana Shakti in them to have the Jnana of the Pancha Vishyas. Pancha Jnana Shakti Yukta Indriyas. Jnanendriya, generally we use the word. What do you mean Jnanendriya? Those Indriyas in which the Shakti is there to have Jnana. They are 5. Shrotra, Tvak, Darshanam, Granaha, Jihva. And these come from where? They all come from the Rajasika Ahankara, which is already there in the Ahankara, which is the 4th aspect in the 9 things which is said by the Lord. Lord said Purusha, Prakriti, Vyaktam, Ahankara. तो अहंकार से ही अहंकार के राजसिक एस्पेक्ट से these 5 indriyas have come, even antahkarana. So those who put the number as more, they have considered these jnanendriyas are more. Therefore their number became from 9 to 14. 9, then they have said 14. Even in Krishna's opinion, where from the ahankara came? Came from the Mahatattva only. So merge Aham in Mahat Tattva, number 7 हो जाएगा. Where the Mahat came from the Prakriti only. So merge the Mahat in the Prakriti, so 7 हो 6 हो जाएगा number. 5 महाभूत कहाँ से आया? प्रकृति से. उसको प्रकृति में डालो, एक ही हो जाएगा. In the pure Paramatma, even the Prakriti is not there. Therefore, there is no world to count with how many tattvas it is made. By the way, keep it in mind. These are all data which will be required to answer some questions which rise in the mind or somebody asks. But the pursuit or the truth, these are all only information to keep the things in their own place. Now, next one, Purushaha Prakriti Vyaktam Avyakta sorry. पंचमाप्त श्रोत्रम त्वक दर्शनम ग्राण जिह्वा इति ज्ञान शक्तया. In the same way, वाक पाणी उपस्था पायु अंग्रीहि कर्माणि anga. Oh my dear Uddhava, these are the 5 karma indriyas. So jnana dene jnana ko are only mere instruments. To do the action, the instruments are karma indriya. To know the knowledge, the instruments are called jnana indriya, and they are required. To do the karma, we have to have jnanam. And after having the jnanam, you have to respond to that jnana by doing some karma. Therefore, they make together the experiences possible. When you have jnana of something and do something, your experience is complete. And the one who has got experience is a jiva. He is jiva sustaining only because of his experiences from morning till evening, from birth till death. That's how the life expresses as anubhavas, experiences for a jiva. Now, Jyoti, these are Vak, Pani, Upastha, Payu, Angri, Karmani, Anga, Ubhayam Manaha. Ubhayam Manaha means दोनों के बीच में एक मन है. So, if you combine all of them, there 9, these 11, 20 हो गए. तो 20 वाले 20 क्यों कह रहे हैं इस तरह से? No, 11 वाले 11 कैसे कह रहे हैं? Those 11 वाले people not considering my 9. They are considering their 11. What are they? Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Ek Mana. Bas, this is making the entire world for them. So those people who talk Ekadasha Tattva, they talk this. उनको उतना ही मजा है बस. So Ekadasha opinion wale are answered this way. Why they say Ekadasha? Why Jnanendriya, why Karmendriya, one Mana. That only the entire world they say. But that's all a very subtle understanding. They are not valuing yet any Shabda Sparsha Rupa Sagandha. They have included all of them in the Indriyas only. Indriyas objectified are the Pancha Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, which 3 days back in one of the class we discussed. Now, the next people. Who are they? Shabda Sparsho Raso Gandho Rupam Cha iti Arthajatayaha. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha are these 5 objects of perception. Then Gati Ukti Utsarga Shilpani Karma Ayatana Siddhayaha. Then Gati movement, Ukti speech, Utsarga, all the things, then Ukti, Utsarga, Shilpani. The Pancha Karmas are Karma Ayatana Siddhayaha. They are the karmas which are achieved by the Karmendriyas. That also make. So if we add these 10 to those 11, they become 21. To these 21, my 9 also added, they become 30. And all these 21 have come from the 9 only. All the 9 may say, the 7 came from Prakriti. Okay. Then the Prakriti is only expression in the willing of Paramatma, Purusha. Otherwise, it has no separate existence apart from Purusha, according to Vedanta. This is the place where the Vedanti and the Sankhyan differ. Vedanta says Ekameva Advayam Brahma means even Prakriti Maya also is not there. But Sankhya philosophy वाले कहते हैं no, Paramatma is there, Prakriti is there, both are eternal. And the Paramatma जब प्रकृति में फंसता है जीवन के सफर होता है. Then when he withdraws himself from the Prakriti's bondage, he is liberated. Prakriti continues. That's why they say, see, Jivan Muktas are living in the same world, but they are not bound. So they are living in the world means they are in the Prakriti only. But they are Mukta because they are not bound by them. Therefore, Prakriti hai ki nahi unko. That's how they talk. They are happy at that level. Vedanti says, pure consciousness permeating everywhere, and there are no two consciousnesses. You reach to that level, you will see your Prakriti is gone. Why the Prakriti you are holding on to? Because you like it. And why the Prakriti is there? Because you are holding on to it. Vedanti, this is how tells the पूर्ण सांख्यवादी, but he doesn't believe. कुछ लोग ना सत्य जानते हैं, लेकिन like don't you know that everyday chanting Bhagavata, everyday chanting Veda mantras is very good. You never deny it, but you don't do it because you can't do it or you may not like it. मैं जानता हूँ स्वामी जो कह रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं ना विवश हूँ कि मैं नहीं कर सकता, या मुझे क्यों मन नहीं लग रहा है, अब मेरे को और कुछ करने को मन हो रहा है, दो मैं जानता हूँ. Like I also know to love you so much in spite of you. That's my nature. My heart is always. When will I become such type of sadhaka where unconditionally, purely, I express like my love to all the beings, not only you, the people. That is in my heart. But right now I can't. Because I have my own limitations. Is it not? I have to go slowly and slowly evolve to that level. In the same way, the Sankhya knows, but he doesn't accept it. There's a problem with it. ठीक है, अब वेदांती कह रहे देख भाई, जब तुमको पसंद आएगा ना, तब प्रकृति को छोड़कर हमारे पास आ जाओ, नहीं तो प्रकृति पुरुष विवेक तक हम दोनों एक है. दैट इज वाई आवर वेदांती फाइट्स ओनली विद द सांख्यन. दैट आल्सो ओनली वन एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एकमेवा द्वयम. In all other aspects, we mix with the Sankyans, and Sankyans defeat all other philosophers. So our game is easy. I reach directly the finals by virtue of some lottery system. The others from pre-quarter final, through quarter final, through semi-final, they reach to final. I fight with them. Anyway, that's different aspect. Now here we have already seen how the nine aspects are there, the tattvas which make the Vishwa happen as per Lord Krishna. So we have seen already the 11. We also see the 20, 11 plus 9, 20. Then to 11, this 10 are added, then it become the 21, then to this 9 added 30. So 30 concept, 21 concept, 9 concept, all of them are understood. Okay, now he comes to talk about other things. What are they? Sargadau prakrutirhi asya karya karana rupine sattvaadibhir gunairdatte purusha avyakta ikshate. Now this shloka, not in the continuation of telling about the variety of number of tattva, but in between very essential thing to be known. Like how he spoke about the gunas belong to Prakriti, not to Paramatma. That is not in the topic, but more important than the topic, that point. Because our goal is to reach the Gunatita Paramatma. Here also he says, Sarga Adau, in the beginning of creation, Prakriti Asya, the Prakriti only, which is the Karyakarana Rupini of the Jagata. Prakriti itself is the Karana, and from the Karana only Karya comes. Prakriti only expressing as the Karya in the form of Jagatu. How Sattvaadvi Gunai? At that time, what is Mr. Purusha is doing? Purushaha avyaktaha ikshate. Purusha is just a Sakshi, is only watching it. He is not involved in the action of Prakriti, which using its own three gunas, he is creating this Jagatu. That's what Maya Adhyakshena. In me, my presidency, Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. The Prakriti creates all the charachara. Now, in this, at a very deep level of Vedanta, which I don't want to touch now because it's too heavy for you, I'll just give a hint. There are two versions that are said. One place they say Paramatma is Nirakara, untouched, Prakriti only expressing as Sthula Sukshma Karana. In other place, what they say, Prakriti is a particular Shakti, the Maya, which is superimposing the Sthula Sukshma Karana Jagat in Paramatma. In the first explanation, Paramatma is Nirlipta and the Maya is called as Upadana Karana for the Jagat. In the second version, Paramatma itself is Nimitta Upadana Karana for Jagat. Maya is acting as a catalyst too. Both versions they say. But in the second version, because Paramatma is Nirvikara, then you have to reject the Karanatva in him. When you reject the Karanatva in him, then the Karyatva also dissolves. What remains is Karya Karanarahita Parabrahma. That is how the Vedanta guides us in the highest contemplation level, the rejection of all the perceived world to be untrue or unreal. ये सब अंदर होता है, एक ज्ञान में होता है, कुछ करने में नहीं होता. Remember, you have to do nothing in this world to dissolve the world. You have to become very sukshma in knowledge and get abided in that knowledge, both about the world and about yourself. Now I consider the world as gross and I am gross. Therefore, I am there as gross individual in this gross world. That gross life is becoming important, predominant to me. In the subtlification, if that word is there, of my own identity, when I from the Deha to go to the level of Mana, go to the Chaitanya level, so too when I see the Jagat from Rupa Nama to the Prakriti to the Paramatma, the all Nama Rupa are not there. That's called meditation. In meditation, we enter into the Sukshmata of everything and stay there only. But where is Stula? It is not there. Just like now we are identified with Stula, for us Sukshma is very vague because we like this Stula. We enjoy it. Maja, maja. But the meditator, the real understanding person of the spirituality, rejects Stula and goes into Sukshma Tadatmya. For him, only for the sake of little Vyavahara, once in a while, he comes to Stula and goes back. Like the great people of Ramana Maharshi and Ramakrishna Paramasa cadre. They're always in Sukshma Atmanubhuti. Sometimes they come to Stula and answer our question, go back. उनको पता चला ऐसा बकवास है, इट्स ऑल मिथ्या, इट इज माया क्रिएटेड, इट इज ओनली बाइंडिंग, इट डिवाइड्स अस, it has got dirt and stink and filth only in the stula. The more stula, the more dirty and filthy. The more sukshma, the more it's purer. See morning class, sukshmatva, vyapakatva, akashvat, sukshma, niranjana, sarvagata. Akashavat. Starting only this, that sloka in Mandukya. Atma hi akashavat jivaihi ghatakashai rivoditaha. That's how the Alatha Shantir Bhakarana started. With that only toward the end again he is saying, Prakrutya akashavat kniyaha sarve dharma sunishchitaha. That's the subtlety. Anyway, so here what he says is, this much sloka we say, Sarga Adau, in the beginning of creation, Prakriti, this Prakriti only, verily, which is Asya. Asya means Asya Jagataha. 1000 times I told you, whenever the word Asya comes, it is about the Jagat. Asya Jagata Karya Karana Rupini. This is the Karana. Karana only becomes Karya. Therefore, the Karya रूप में भी वो प्रकृति है. कारण रूप में अव्यक्त रूप का है, कार्य रूप में स्थूल और सूक्ष्म रूप का है. सो स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण प्रकृति से बने हैं. सत्वादि भी गुण ही धत्ते. At the time, sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. These three gunas it uses and expresses this world. At the tamo guna level, it becomes karana. At the Rajoguna level, it becomes Sukshma. And at the Sattva-guna level, it becomes Stula. That way, Stula things are very substantially known to us. That is one way of explaining three gunas of Prakriti, going in the formation of the Stula Jagat, Sukshma Jagat, and Avyakta. What is the Paramatma doing at that time? Purushaha Avyaktaha Ikshate. Purusha is Avyakta. He is not involved in any one of them. Sirf is dekh rahe. Some people are knowing something, some people are doing something, some people are sleeping. In the light of Lord Sun. What is Lord Sun is doing? He's only seeing. He is not interested in somebody is waking and working, somebody is waking and knowledge gaining, somebody is sleeping. He just is there in his light. समझ गया man? So to the आत्म वस्तु लोग अंदर का सिर्फ देखता है. हो गया? Then this is actually a sadhana. Then when you become a Ikshavan, only the witness in the play of Prakriti, slowly the influence of Prakriti's play reduces on you. When you become strong in the witnesshood, you drop giving importance to that. And the most wonderful thing happens is what? When you stop importance given to the Prakriti and its Karya Karanatva, it just disappears only. That's how in meditation, by becoming Sakshi purely, we see to it that the Karya Karana is rejected. Then we inquire who is Sakshi, what is nature. He is found to be Sat Chit Ananda. That's it. Now comes Vyaktadayaha Vikurvanaha Dhatavaha Purusha Ikshaya Labdaviryaha Sujanti Andam Samhataha Prakritehe Balatu. How the Brahmanda is made is said in this shloka. Then it takes some time to explain. Tomorrow we will see. So some things we have studied today and very good details. They just keep data that expands the mind to a higher understandings, which helps us to protect from the narrow notions of the world being real, world being solid, world being substantial, world must be desired for. We must be indulgent in the world as a worldly person. I cannot be without the world. These are the notions which are holding on us to us as only a samsari. These things get loosened with this knowledge, of course, when you get it and use it. The more such knowledge when you gain, the substantiality, the solidity, the reality given to the gross world gets loosened. Then its hold on you gets loosened. That's called sadhana. साधना इज अपने आप को इस स्ट्रांग स्थूल जगत से छुटकारा पाना है, छुड़ाना है बस. Get loosened from your grossness, enter into subtleness. That is sadhana. Nobody told us all this, or we never listened all this. Therefore, for us, Sthula Jagat only is real. Indulgence in that only is real. Identifying with that only is real. Success is only when we become owner or enjoyer of the Sthula Jagat. In this way, our intellects are so much caught up in that, like a addict is all the time thinking about where to get the drink from, where to get the drug from, where to get the injection from. He is so much addicted to that. So too, we are addicted to the Stulata. है ना, कामी addicted to kama, dhani addicted to dhana, bhogi addicted to the bhoga. We are all addicted to the stula because all these are fulfilled in the stula only. That is why we never come to class. That is why we never listen higher things. We feel to be satisfied that only. That's what Bhagavan said in the earlier portion. To such people, madvarta api narochate. याद है आपको? ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. So along with knowing the Paramatma Jnanam, we also must know what is Prakriti, what is Ishvara, what is Jagat, what are the tattvas with which the world is made. They are all the knowledges, though directly won't help us to know the truth, but indirectly they help by detaching from the world, by devaluing it, because world is nothing but the manifestation of our own ignorance and these prakriti. Other than that, उसमें ना कोई दम है ना कोई मजा है. ये बात हमको इन विशेषणों से विश्लेषणों से पता चलता. इसका ये फायदा है. See you tomorrow in Bhagavata. Now in 2 minutes our वाल्मीकि रामायण. ओके, पढ़ो भैया शास्त्र. आजकल के दिनों में आप जैसे कौन है ऐसे सुनने वाले? महासंत लोग